Now we are finally ready to implement our results controller. Open the core.js file under the controllers directory and create a new exported function titled results. Also, be sure to import the Twitter client utility by setting a new local variable titled client and have it require our Twitter helper function. The signature of this function will match the other two. For the results implementation, we are going to make use of both the request and the response object. From the request object, we will get the term the user has searched for. We can capture query parameters via req.query. Let's start our implementation by creating a variable called query, and we'll set it to req.query.q. We'll expect each request to the results route to have a query parameter named q, which will contain the search term. Next, we'll write a check to make sure the query exists. If it doesn't, we'll just return an error page. If it does in fact exist, we'll continue. We won't need to load our in-memory database like in the previous routes, but we will want to insert the search term into our searches collection. To do that, we can simply write db.getCollection searches and then append an insert method and pass in an object with our search. To save our data, we'll run the db.saveDatabase method. Now we are going to call the Twitter API. We'll use our local client variable, which now exposes a bunch of functions for working with the Twitter API. We'll call client.get, and for the first parameter, we'll pass in a string titled search/tweets. For the second parameter, we'll pass in an object with an attribute q and set it to our search query. Finally, the third parameter will be a callback function which takes an error, tweets, and response parameters. What we care about in the callback function is the tweets. This will contain the data we want to send to the UI. Within the callback function, we are going to call our res.render function. We'll render the results page and we'll pass the search term as well as the list of tweets to it. This will wrap up our implementation of the results function. To use this implementation, open up the routes.js file and replace the existing results implementation with core.results. In the next video, let's quickly implement the API functionality and then we'll get to building our UI.